I like reading. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Lavender, and I know our usual content is more of Disney stuff, but recently I've kind of always loved it, but recently I've really gotten into reading, and so I kind of thought I would do some like reading and book content on our channel as well. So I figured in my first video I would show like all the books that I have read so far this year, because recently within the last like month or two is when I've really gotten back into reading, and I've been like completely obsessed with just like sitting majority of my free time off of like my phone, off of scrolling, and just reading. So majority of the books I'm about to show you are just within the last month, and I figured we're already like halfway into July, so it's too late to do a June wrap up. So let me just do a like, these are the books that I've read so far this year, and we'll go from there. So these are the like print copies that I have, so I'll show you what these are, as well as some books that I have read on my Kindle. So let's get started. I am definitely a romance reader. That is like my forte. That's what I've always kind of been interested in. Joshua is much more of like a sci-fi, which I've gotten into like some books. Last year I read A Court of Thorns and Roses. I just read the first book though. I have all the other ones, I just have not read them yet. So like they're on my list to be read. It's just I'm more comfortable with like a romance book. So let's get started. So I'll show you the books that I've read, what I've rated them, and then a little bit about them without spoiling. So here we go. So first book I read was Icebreaker, which this is by Hannah Grace. This is her debut novel. This is a part of a series. I had a really hard time with this book. I read this at the very beginning of the year, and I had a very hard time with it. There's just some things in here that were just very cringy for me to be reading. On my Goodreads I rated it 4 stars. I would probably rate it more of like a 3. The ending was great. It's just there were some things that just felt very young for me. I know I'm only 25, but like it just felt very young. This is like based in college. He's a hockey player and she is an ice skater. His team's ice rink gets destroyed, and so they end up having to share a rink. So it's forced proximity. It's academic. It was very good, and maybe I need to give it another chance, but it was difficult for me. But I know this is a lot of people's like favorite books, so but this one was hard for me. So I liked it, but it wasn't my favorite. So the next couple books I actually read on my Kindle. I got these during Stuff Your Kindle Day, and I read them that way. So the first one being Teasing the Mountain Man. So this one is by Lila Hart. I gave it a 3 stars. It was a novella, so it was very short. It was only 39 pages. So this says that his friend trusts her to keep his little secret. His friend trusts her to keep his little sister safe, but she proves to be a woman he can't resist. So a cute little like novella. 3 stars. Obviously, it wasn't that great because I literally do not remember much of it at all. Then I read Desire or Defense. This is by Leah Bruner. Now, this one I actually really enjoyed. I gave it a 4-star rating. This one was about, this is another hockey romance. Clearly, I have a thing for like sports romances. And you'll see in the next couple of books of another type of romance. But, so this one, he's a hockey player. He's like, it's this kind of like grumpy, like not really grumpy sunshine, because the girl is also kind of like grumpy when he first meets her, and then maybe she gets a little bit more towards sunshine. But so the guy, he gets in trouble with his hockey team, and he gets on a suspension, and he has to coach a like kids league hockey team. He meets this kid on there that kind of like reminds him of himself. His parental guardian is his sister, and so it's kind of this sister and him, you know, fallen in love. It's a really cute story. It is very fast paced. It's kind of like that insta love type of thing. So this one wasn't really quite my cup of tea, but I did really enjoy it. I don't know if I'll read the other books in the series because there is 2 other books to the series, but I don't know if I'll read them. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know, but I did really enjoy this one. It was a really cute story. Then I read Curvy Girl and the Cowboy Next Door by Jessa Joy. Again, I don't really remember this one all that well. This one, I guess, was another novella. As it says that it was a curvy woman enters the world of a gruff cowboy veteran in this short, steamy age gap romance. Brooke never imagined that her journey as a plus-size model would lead her to a vast ranch in the middle of nowhere. So that one, again, I don't really remember, so I gave it 2 stars, so I guess that's why. 2-star rating on that one. So those are the ones that I read, and I kind of like, they kind of weren't really that important to me, but the next books are very important to me. So these are the ones that I started reading last month, in the month of June, and these like literally stole my freaking heart. This is the Chestnut Springs series. These books have my freaking heart. These were recommended to me by my friend, who is absolutely obsessed with these as well. And they are just perfection. I guess this is what really got me back into reading, just because these were so good. So this whole book series is by Elsie Silver. The first book in the series is flawless, which follows Rhett and Summer. And these are beautiful books. These are contemporary Western romances, and they are just so beautifully written. They are so, like, the men in these books are amazing. The ladies in these books are amazing. There's nothing about these that I really don't know if I really disliked anything about this series. Flawless follows Rhett, who is a bull rider, and Summer, who is she works for like a PR firm type of thing, of trying to restore his image after he blows one of his sponsors. So she comes to like babysit him, and he's like, I don't need a babysitter, but she's like, you gotta restore your reputation if you want to keep these sponsors and get other sponsors to help you out with your bull riding. And they're just beautiful. I love Rhett and Summer so much. Like, the couples in these books also are just so real. They have real issues. They talk through stuff. They don't just like shut down and or say that everything is all fine and dandy and everything. They are just like, they're real. I mean, there's nothing else really I can say about them, but I loved this. Yeah, this book I rated 5 stars. I think I read this in like 2 days. I could not put this down. I literally, every second that I could read a book, I was reading this book. Okay, so the second book in that series is Heartless. This follows Willa and Cade. This is very much grumpy sunshine. Cade is complete grump. He is a rancher. He is like kind of the head of the ranch there at Chestnut Springs. He's a single dad, and he needs someone to watch his son Luke. And so enter Willa, Summer's best friend, who's looking for something to do for the summer. And so she she interviews, and Kate is like, what? Who is this woman? She cannot take care of my kid. But she like completely proves him wrong, and Luke basically like steals her heart and like leads her to like falling in love with his dad. The spice in this book was phenomenal. I loved it so much. Just like everything about this book. This is 100% my favorite book of the entire series. This is perfection. Perfection in a book. I loved this book so much. I could not put this one down as well. This is like something, this whole series is probably something that I will continuously reread time and time again. It's so warm and cozy, and just like, I love it. I love it. I love it. If you can't tell, I love it. That one's another 5-star read for me. Next, you have Powerless. This follows Jasper and Sloane. This is childhood friends to lovers, is this one. So, Sloane is she's Harvey's niece. In the back of her book, you have a bonus scene, and these are all Harvey's chapters. So, Harvey is the boy's dad, so you get to see them. Cade is Rhett's brother. Jasper is their, like, found family member. Beau who is another one of the brothers, he finds Jasper in a very like a moment of weakness, and like takes him in to be like a part of their family, and so he's there with them for, you know, everything from then on, and is like genuinely they consider him a brother. He's not just a friend, that is their brother. And then Sloane is their cousin, is the boys' cousin, Rhett, Bo, and Eaton. No, Rhett, Bo, and Kate's cousin. So she comes to the farm, the ranch, for summer to get away, and then their mom has passed away. So Sloane comes for summer to be there within the ranch because her family is, you know, not the best. So she enjoys this like time away from them to, you know, to be like happier in her life. So Jasper is a hockey player. So you get sports romance in this as well. So he's a hockey player and she is about to marry someone she does not love. And so he comes in to rescue her. So this is a really good one. The spice in this book was not my favorite. So I rated this one 4 stars because of that. But still, nonetheless, a great book. So, Powerless. And then next we have Reckless, which this is Theo and Winter. Winter is Summer's sister. Theo is Rhett's kind of like prodigy in bull riding. He's a bull rider as well. And they are like together. So Theo's dad like mentored Rhett. So Rhett kind of feels like he needs to mentor Theo because Theo's dad died in a bull riding accident. Theo and Winter have a wild night when they first meet, and Winter ends up pregnant. And Theo is like, I want nothing to do with this. So this is following years after when he gets into an accident in bull riding himself, and he needs to take a moment away to recover from his accident. So he moves back to recover and go to the gym that Summer opens to for therapy, or like physical therapy, to recover. So this one is probably my second favorite book. This is 100% 5 stars. And Theo Silva, Tavio, you know that if you read. So I love Reckless so much. I love these books so much. And then last but not least, you have Bo, and Bo is the third Eaton brother. He is in the military, so you have little dog tags on the front. Also, let me say one thing about these books that I absolutely love is that each book has a different like symbol in each of the chapters. So like you have snowflakes for that one, you have diamonds for hopeless, you have suns for powerless, you have hearts for heartless, and then you have stars for flawless. So you see what those mean in each of the books. So that's a really cool little like detail that was added, and I love it so much. But so Hopeless follows Bo, who is a veteran, and he is wounded in and so like you see some of that story in the earlier books, because these can be read as standalones, but they are interconnected standalones, and so I definitely think you need to read all of them. So, but he's wounded, and he is missing for a very long time, and they're like, oh my god, where is he? Like, I know he's okay, I have to believe that, but we don't know. And so this is him returning home and feeling like he is this military hero and that he did all of this good, but he doesn't feel like he deserves it. So he's in a very low place. And one day when he goes to the bar, he meets Bailey, or he knows Bailey. Bailey is actually their neighbor, and her family is like awful. So he meets Bailey and sees her for kind of in a whole new light. This is an age gap romance, and it's a beautiful story. It really is. It's also a marriage of convenience, or like dating of convenience. It's fake dating. They get engaged to like help out him and her, so they're both benefiting from it. But this one was really good, but there are some things in this where I was just like, can we get past that? So this one was a 4 stars for me, but it's still great. I just wish it were a little bit better. But hopeless. And that was the end of the Chestnut Spring series. And then I was very much in like this like still contemporary Western romance mood. So I read Done and Dusted and Swift and Saddled. I listened to both of these actually, but I wanted to have the books just because I did love them so much. So Done and Dusted follows Clementine and Luke. And so she is a competitive barrel racer. And so she comes back home to Meadowlark for the first time in like years. And she goes to this bar, and it's Luke's bar. And so they like rekindle. So he is her brother's best friend. And so they kind of like rekindle and fall for each other in a way that is just like so beautiful. I loved this book so much. I did rate this 4 stars. I think it was, I'm not really sure exactly why I rated it 4 stars. I just feel like there were some things that could have been a little bit better. I think it felt like a little bit repetitive in some places of like stuff that just kept getting repeated as well. But overall it was a really cute story, and there were some really cute things in this book that just like made me love it. And so I loved it so much that I listened to the second book of the series, which is Swift and Saddled, which follows Weston, who is Emmy or Clementine's brother, and then this follows Ada, who comes to town to help him restore a property on the, like a house on their property to be like a kind of like an inn, a bed and breakfast type of thing. So Ada is Emmy's best friend's, Teddy's friend from college, who is into like interior design and stuff. So she comes to help him restore that, and so it's like this, you know, workplace romance that like they're like shouldn't be doing this, but it feels so right. So I loved these books. They were very short, so it was a quick listen, and I loved them very much. And the second, or the third book of this series, which actually follows Teddy, comes out later this year, which I'm very excited to read. This one I also gave 4 stars, which I think is very like reasonable. They are so short, so it is kind of like that like very quick, fast-paced romance, but it's a really good book nonetheless. So then the last book that I read of the month was Elle Kennedy's The Deal, which is another hockey romance. This is a college romance. This follows Hannah and Garrett. And Garrett is the hockey player, and he is failing in a class that Hannah is exceeding in, like well beyond pretty much any of the class. So he's like, help me pass the class. And she's like, no, why would I? But then Garrett finds out that she has a crush on one of the guys in their class, and he's like, okay, you help me, I'll help you. So that is this, and I have wanted to read this series for a very long time. I already have the rest of the series to read soon, but I've been wanting to read this series for a very long time, and I just kept putting off. I don't even think I actually realized that this was a like hockey romance, and sports romances are like all the rage right now. But this was a beautiful book. Search up trigger warnings, because there is a lot of stuff about rape and like sexual abuse in this. So there were some things that were a little bit hard to read at some points. But it was a beautiful book. It was beautifully written. The like love between these two is so real and so beautiful. So the rest of the series follows his friends, who are also on the hockey team. But I rated this 5 stars, and I cannot wait to read the rest of the series. So, but yeah, that's that's what I have read so far this year. And I really want to continue to, like, I really hope that my, like, love for reading right now continues, because I feel like a lot of times I, like, really into reading and I read and then I just, like, fall off, and usually it's a bad book that will, like, cut me off. So Icebreaker killed me last year, and then I finally finished it beginning of this year. But I'm doing really well, and I'm loving everything that I'm reading right now, so I cannot wait to share with you what I read next month, or this month in July. But I'm really enjoying it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Maybe you got some good TBR, or maybe you got some good books for your TBR. If you have read a book recently that you absolutely loved and you think I'd enjoy, let me know, because I would love to have some more books to add to my ever-growing TBR. I love book buying and book reading. It's something that Joshua and I kind of bonded over in the beginning of our relationship, because he loves to read and listen to books. So this is just a look into our lives of what some of the things that we love, in addition to Disney. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.